myself as disabled, but sometimes I do feel like I've got a point to prove, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't.
With a fortune of £9 million, he's one of the UK's youngest multi-millionaires.
The best thing about it is the fact that you're in a private jet, which is great.
While Matt's excelled in business, he's struggled with the world of disability.
In a lot of disabled groups, there's that sort of everybody wins a prize element. I don't think there should be any feeling sorry for ourselves.
Now he's going to Manchester to find people to help.
It's a bit terrifying, but we're not saying that out loud.
He'll try out the groups for himself.
Come on. Got a false leg?
Yeah, I've got a false leg.
And face the reality of disability.
Very lonely, isn't it, if this was like your life? It's me, 10 years ago.
But he'll find that giving away his money is not as easy as he thinks.
What actually happens if they say no? No.
I can't take that, mate. I can't.
No chance. But this is a bit strange because, you know, this is kind of a private thing that I do every day that nobody really sees, you know. Wouldn't be fair of me to only show you the bits that are easy.
15 years ago, Matthew Newbury was a passenger in a motorbike accident, losing his left leg and narrowly escaping with his life.
I remember laying on the road and seeing the second vehicle. As soon as I saw the headlights, I pretty much knew it was going to hit us. You know, my leg was traumatically amputated, which means it wasn't taken off in an operating theatre. It was, you know, it was removed on the side of the road.
Matt's life changed again at the age of 23, when he was awarded £3 million in compensation for his accident, the highest payout to date for a single amputee in the UK.
I was in hospital having an operation. They took me to theatre, knocked me out, and by the time I was in recovery, I was a multi-millionaire.
Unable to continue his dream job in the theatre, Matt invested his money, starting a property development company.
We're literally just on the ground. Are you here already?
He's now tripled his wealth in just 7 years, amassing a fortune of £9 million.
If we just have a look around this plot, if I couldn't go to work, I would be driven mad, and then what I'm left with is such a horrible life. You've got two choices. You either deal with it and crack on, or you let it deal with you.
But Matt is about to face a new challenge. He's going to spend the next 8 days undercover in order to find people in need of his help.
One spray, is that enough?
I've got a spare one in the...
Okay, yeah. As Matt's PA, there's a lot of us that work for Matt, looking after him day to day. It's long hours, it's 24/7. I don't know what he's going to do without us being around. I'm here to have everything ready for him, whether it's just paperwork for the office or, his toothpaste, toothbrush just ready, reachable. You forget, it's harder for him. So, I'm needed. Yes.
Hello.
Hi, Mum, you all right?
Good morning.
How are you?
Matt's parents have now retired to Cyprus, but they remain a close family.
No. My mum's still in bits. 15 years on, she's still in bits about it, and she will be for the rest of her life. That's just what happens.
The usual rules, be careful, be safe. It'll be fine.
All right, Mum, love you lots. Love you, Dad.
Love you, bye.
Bye.
Matt's going to meet and be introduced to other disabled people who don't have his wealth. But before he leaves, Matt needs to change his £50,000 bionic leg. With microprocessors and a carbon fibre frame, it's the only one of its kind in the UK. He'll be wearing an old NHS leg, so his cover isn't blown.
I kind of want to be fully immersed in it, I wouldn't have a £50,000 leg, so I haven't got it.
Matt is going to Manchester using the cover of making a documentary about life after disability, and he'll be trying disability groups for himself.
I shied away from going to support groups and hanging out with other disabled people at the outset because it just meant that I would have had to... It would have been like looking in the mirror, and I wasn't ready to do that.
Having just arrived in Manchester, Matt's already having difficulty with the old prosthetic leg he's going to be living with.
It feels so heavy. On my other leg, you lift it and it does that. Whereas that thing, if it's out there, like, that's why I slipped on the train, because if I lift it up like that, it stays there for 5 minutes before anything happens.
Matt's arrived in Moston in North Manchester, his home for the next 8 days.
You girls know where Stanway Street is? You what?
Some focus on it, some paedophile.
No, nothing to do with paedophile, no. Sorry, but we've just got to talk about that for a second. She asked whether we were making a show about a paedophile. And I said, did you not hear her? And I said, is it a nice area? And she went, fucking hell, it's awful. Okay. Okay, right.
Matt will be living on the disability living allowance and will not have an adapted house, as he's asked not to have special treatment.
These look steep. My normal leg will yield over the knee, whereas this leg, if you get past a, you know, the further you get past a point, the more, you know, it'll just suddenly drop you. So I need to just be really careful because it's, you know, you're not gonna, you know, it's a long way to go. It's not very easy. Five minutes ago, the kids were kicking the ball against the boarded-up house down the road, and then they were all kind of chanting fire, 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 so God knows what they're doing. I'll get to 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, I'll just be thinking, God, I'm knackered already. Because I'm in lots of pain and I'm really tired and I feel like I'm letting you guys down. Morning.
Morning, Matt, how you doing?
I'm all right, how are you?
Multi-millionaire Matthew Newbury is undercover in Manchester. As an amputee, he's going to be looking for disabled groups and people that he can help.
Try and get my leg on the best it can be, especially if it's not going to be very comfortable, whatever I do, you know?
As part of his cover, he's using an old NHS prosthetic leg instead of his usual state-of-the-art bionic leg.
Are you sure it's healthy to eat creamed rice for every meal?
Yeah, well, I like creamed rice. I don't know what else to eat. I haven't got any other food in.
Matt's using the cover of making a documentary about people adapting to life after disability and is keen to find charities that he can try out for himself.
I wandered down this way and just see whether we can just find somebody on the street to just talk to. Can I chat to you ladies for a second?
Depends what you want.
Any groups in the area that might support people with disabilities? No. Are there any charities in this area that you know about? I've got a false leg, you see, so what I'd love to do is go and try and find some people that maybe have got a false leg. Maybe I should have worn shorts, you know, and I would have given it a bit more credibility as to what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I'm struggling a bit. Probably walked a mile today, which I know sounds like nothing. I feel like I've had a little dip in the last hour, actually. Just sort of have a think about what's going on and eat. Jesus Christ. Awful pie. And the thing there about charity down the road, there's a picture of this chap in here who's only got one leg remaining. There's an assault course. Some of it sounds like maybe better to watch than join in with. But it might be good to just ring them and find out what they do.
Hello.
Hello there, is that Chris?
Yeah, speaking.
Hello, Chris. My name is Matt, and I'm ringing. I read the article in the paper about your charity. Do you do anything that involves anything with people with disabilities, Chris?
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Right. I'm making a documentary at the moment about people that have got disabilities. I've got a film crew following me, so would that be all right if they come along?
Absolutely fantastic.
Would that be all right?
Are you Matt?
I'm Matt, yeah. You Chris?
Slightly.
That's me, Chris, back on the phone.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. So what do you reckon?
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Look at this.
Look at this. Well, obviously, concentrate on the eye stuff, because that's where your eyes will go naturally.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where your heart rate will start getting up a bit.
Right,
And that's
okay.
where you'll be making decisions now, whether you
Okay.
can or cannot have a go. Huh. What do you think? Huh.
Challenge for Change is a charity set up 2 years ago by ex-prison warden Chris Whiteley.
Ready? Go, let's go, let's go. Straight through. Good lad, great start. Great start there, good help. That's a great help there. Come on, lad, come on.
I haven't done anything like this for years. Can I take my leg off and just do this without it on?
Absolutely.
Because otherwise it's just going to, like, get in the way.
That's your leg.
All right.
Chris has specifically designed the centre so that anyone with any disability can join in, including Matt. The challenging course aims to build confidence and self-esteem.
Everybody else is managing, so I'm sure I can.
It's through being in the prison service, I built an assault course.
Yeah.
It was to get prisoners to work together,
Okay.
talking to each other. I I had an idea, and I was challenged to do it because no one else had done it before.
Yeah, good man.
So that's where it started.
So that's where
and it was a prisoner who said, Chris, you need to get this out in the environment, get it out in the communities.
With the ground challenges under his belt, Matt turns his attention to the aerial assault course.
It's a bit terrifying, but we're not saying that out loud because it's like this 5-year-old's just going to kind of get up and do it, isn't she? So I'm going to be sitting there going, oh, I can't cope. It's like that.
Worried about heights?
No, I'm not worried about heights. I'm just worried about the rope snapping. Right, is this rope still tied on, all right?
Yeah, yeah. Just sit and relax with the swing and don't try and fight it.
Should not have done that.
Below, that's it. Go on that one, yeah.
Fucking hell, I've got my other leg there to put down there. There's the wrong stigmatisation attached to stuff like this. I've just watched Chris inspire confidence in literally a coach load of kids, some of whom have noticeably changed since when they came in to when they went out. It's brilliant, really brilliant. I'm in quite a lot of pain as a result of doing the aerial challenge. And I just wanted to put my feet up, really, and if you get your feet, or get my foot up at the height, then it stops it hurting quite so much. It's a new thing for me, being limited, because at home I'm not limited at all, because anything I can't physically do myself, then somebody will just step in and do it for me. If I had to live here for forever, I don't know how I'd cope. Oh. Just feel like I want to find an individual. I don't know, maybe I even try more kind of medically based places, you know, hospital, limb fitting centre. I think I just have to bite the bullet and go and crack on. Have you got a notice board or something like that for disabled people, specifically amputees?
Yeah.
There's a group here that look like they're called the Owls, that say they do wheelchair, basketball, table tennis. But that can only be good, isn't it? Yes, the old ratchet strap, I remember that. You get clamped into the chair. Feels really strange being in a NHS limb centre. Very strange indeed. You know, I knew that I could basically die at any minute for an entire week, and that was not a... You know, just the windows and the architecture and the feel of the place just kind of brings it all... Just makes me think about it all, really. I block all that stuff out. That guy's been sitting up there for about 2 hours. Now, he's either waiting for somebody to see to him, or he's waiting for a lift home. Whereas by now, I'd be in the back of the Bentley on the A3, watching The Dark Knight and deciding whether I want gin and tonic or Coke out the fridge, you know, and just like...
Matt follows up his hospital lead and heads to try out wheelchair basketball.
I haven't ever had to spend any time in a wheelchair outside hospital because I just flatly refused. Being in a wheelchair gives a message. People don't look at me as being disabled. I worked really hard at learning to walk. It wasn't easy. It remains uneasy, but it was vital for me to be able to do it because I didn't want to be perceived as a disabled person.
The Oldham Owls are a disability sports and social group and are happy to welcome all newcomers, including Matt.
Right, we'll try a bit of basketball, so you've got to try this chair.
It's not a standard wheelchair, this is a...
No, this is a different wheelchair. It's called a wheelchair basketball chair. Right. We'll just get you pushing up and down here.
OK.
18-year-old Alex Williams will be on hand to help.
Yeah, just keep pushing up and down.
Right, we're going to play a game now. We've got an extra player. It's his first time, so...
Go.
Be gentle with him.
Yeah,
be gentle with him. I'm there, Maxine.
Mackie!
All right.
Sorry. You're ramming, so there you go. Oh, yes, Matthew. Dynamo. Dave. Last basket now. So basically, next basket wins. Oh!
1, 2, 3.
You're more than welcome back.
Yeah, no, I will. I'll come back.
We enjoyed it though?
Yeah, fucking great.
As long as you enjoyed it. C-star basket at the end.
Did better than some of you lot.
Did better than Dave.
So what was your situation?
I had meningitis when I was 7.
Okay, yeah, you did say, yeah.
And I've lost this leg. It's got no nerves in it now.
Okay.
It's just gradually, I don't know if you can tell, but it's actually smaller. I thought it was just cramps in the leg. and it turns out it was the meningitis. I've bouncing through my leg.
I mean, you seem like you're all right.
Oh, yeah, I get around to try it again rather than...
As a result of his meningitis, Alex is currently facing the decision whether to amputate his left leg.
Because I get pain sort of from just above the knee. Getting this leg chopped off would just be the end to all that, basically. So, if I had this leg amputated, I could walk on this leg, get a false leg, walk on crutches. So...
You know,
So I have to just...
Jesus, it's quite a lot for me to get my head round, to be honest with you. It's just like...
You know, taking me years to get my head round it fully.
Yeah.
But, you know...
Alex spends his spare time raising awareness about meningitis.
Yeah, I'm actually doing some stuff tomorrow.
Oh, what are you doing?
If you're free, I'm in Asda, which is...
Right, yeah.
And that meningitis trust symptoms card, which is what I had.
What?
Meningitis trust symptoms card,
Right.
which is what I had.
Okay.
Just handing out, selling badges.
Okay.
If you're free, you're more than welcome to come and join.
Yeah, I think I am.
So I'll
I
set
am free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hearing Alex talk about wanting to have his leg amputated just spins it on its head for me. With no medical qualifications whatsoever, I can't dangle that carrot in front of him and effectively say, you have your leg amputated, I'll pay for the repair job. Just wouldn't be fair on anyone, including myself. Much as I'd love to help him, I'd love to see him walk. My first worry about it is what I can do to help him. I'm just feeling like time is catching up on me and I need to get a move on with what I'm doing. Hi. Hi. I'm good, yeah, how are you?
What do you want, tea?
Tea. I'm making a documentary for Channel 4 about living with a disability. What is the place?
Community cafe for the residents in the estate.
Okay.
Theatre company that comes and nurses in here.
Oh, really?
Angry, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're a registered charity.
Before his accident, Matt worked as a theatre lighting designer in London's West End.
I'd love to do that. I don't know, I sort of came into it thinking that it was, thinking of pretty focused on the kind of disability thing, and maybe it takes a little bit of a different route, but we'll see.
Hello?
Hello, is that Rob?
Yeah.
Hello, Rob. My name is Matthew. I'm filming a documentary about people with disabilities and such like. And I've been given your number by Louis, who runs the community cafe. He didn't say that you necessarily did anything specifically with people with disabilities, but the reason I'm ringing, I used to work in technical theatre, Rob, so...
You want you can get involved in that?
Okay, I'd love to come and give you a hand. Is Rob around? Hi, Rob. We spoke earlier on the phone. How'd you do? You all right?
We write all our own stuff.
Okay.
So true to sort of North Manchester life, and it's very sort of like about the young people.
Okay, are you from North Manchester? Is that where you're from, born and bred?
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
Joe is our light man. He's
yeah.
having his dinner.
What can I help with, I guess?
Ex-teacher Rob Lees started Mad Theatre 16 years ago and has been running it ever since.
Finish your dinner. Where'd you get these from?
We like apply for grants for them and stuff. We're a charity now, but we basically just sort of go from sort of year to year trying to generate income to do what we do, basically.
It's a bit strange for me, because it's just been my job every day of the week, Joe. Mainly in London, but I've travelled all over.
The thing that got me interested in it is when we was on stage and someone messed up the lights.
Right.
So I thought, well, it can't be that hard to do. Did it myself and realised, yeah, it is actually that hard to do.
Slide up number 1, Joe.
The theatre group persuaded Joe to stay in school and helped him get his GCSEs and a place on a performing arts course at college.
Things like this are good for people like Joe.
Yeah.
You know, Joe's got mates that, let's say maybe get on the wrong side. They've not really got, let's say, role models or sort of positive role models.
There's nothing for kids to do nowadays, so that's why you always see kids running about 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
If there's nothing to
Nowhere
do.
else to go.
There's nowhere else to go and there's nothing to do.
The smell of poverty.
What you need to do is you need to think about what it is you're doing and have your hands ready. Yeah, it's those 4. I was worried that it was going to be adult, like people that aren't good enough to be actors trying to be actors, whereas, the kids do things for different reasons. Some of them are quite good. It reminds me of when I was 11 or 12 and reaching out for somewhere that I kind of fitted in. Yeah, it really does. Probably not your best playing partner, to be honest with you. Don't think they've got anything to do around here. Painful, actually. I've had a long day. So it hurts. Ow, it hurts. That's all right. When they amputate your leg, all the nerves get messed up and it feels like your leg is still there, and you can feel the injury. You can feel the leg at the odd angle that it got left at. It's kind of strange. I used to get like my foot would hurt, my knee would hurt, and my shin would hurt, whereas now I get it almost difficult to tell whether it's phantom pain or whether it's physical pain, you know. Today it's just absolutely tired me out. I slept really well and I feel much more awake and all that stuff, so that's really good.
Millionaire amputee Matthew Newbury has been living in Manchester looking for people he can help.
Thankfully, the creamed rice diet has worked out well.
Matt's back at the indoor assault course charity, Challenge for Change.
Chris asked me to go back and kind of help out. I never bought into disability groups, and actually I don't think I've done enough to help. I don't think I've put myself out there enough.
Hi lads, how you doing? Nice to meet you, Andy.
Hi, I'm Steve.
Hi Steve, how you doing? You right? What can I do to help?
Well, today you're going to be not instructing.
Okay.
But you're going to be in charge of these two gentlemen.
Okay. I'm going to keep my leg on and do this today, I think.
Ah, leg on
So,
today.
well, you know, it's less about me doing the course and more about me kind of being able to be there, help.
They're quite quick, these guys, as well.
Yeah, mine's just one above knee. You know, obviously I'm exactly the same as you on one side.
Obviously in Afghanistan, 2009, went out on a foot patrol.
Yeah.
Stepped on a pressure plate IED.
Yeah.
Obviously resulted in me losing my legs and my arm, yeah. I think it's 2 years. 2 years ago tomorrow.
Really?
So...
Right, come on, guys, let's get over there. Yeah, guess what? You're the first triple amputee we've had up here.
Yeah?
Yeah, so don't mess it up, let's never come back.
Hopefully not the last one.
No.
Yeah, feel a bit more confident. So, I guess you got to just get yourself steady and then grab the next rope, yeah? Yeah, excellent.
Matt, get out there.
Yeah.
Keep the left side.
So you pull yourself across?
Yeah.
Keep the left side, mate.
I'm learning this week is that disabled people supporting other disabled people doesn't necessarily have the stigma attached to it that you might think it does.
Yeah, good, get in there, get in there. That's it.
Cheers, mate.
Well, that was amazing.
I'll definitely come here again. If you keep yourself busy,
Yeah.
then you're not dwelling on what's happened. That's,
Well, no.
that's what I've done.
You know, what a privilege. I just feel numbed and humbled and put in my place, you know? I really do. All the best. Andy seems to get a hell of a lot out of it, and I was sort of stunned to find that, you know, other places he's approached have turned him away. That's why this place is important.
We've got some jobs, we've got our bus.
What do you do with the bus? What's
Well, I want to shift some seats around so I can
Okay.
get more access for disabled people.
Okay.
The idea is to convert it into a mobile activity centre.
Right.
So then we can go to groups and organisations who find it difficult to come to here. But if we can have a zip wire off the top at the back, and we can literally climb out of a window at the top, hook onto something, go ape style, and then just woo!
Yeah.
So, sleeves are rolled up.
Yes. What's the next step for the bus?
I'm going to beg, steal, or borrow like I've always done.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask the question, and eventually if I ask enough people, somebody will know. I always think this place was meant to be because of the amount of luck I've had in meeting the right people. So I'll know I'll meet the right guy who'll fix my bus.
Yeah.
I used to know what you'll turn out and you might come back here. You might win the lottery next week and come back here and say, Chris, guess what?
Yeah. I'm disabled. There's nothing I can do to get away from that. I have met people this week who have inspired me and made me realise that actually the disabled community as a whole has got a huge amount to offer. I feel like I have turned a bit of a corner.
Matt's been using his theatre background to help the charity Mad Theatre.
Come and see it!
Let's go and see if we can give out some flyers down here.
That's this, the company's latest production!
To help with fundraising, they're at a local football match, selling tickets for tonight's show.
You know all about it already? Everybody knows all about it.
You money out, get your ticket!
It's not glamorous, this theatre game. Sell some tickets.
This is great because it's grassroots. They're out. Joe was just telling me about how he spent his birthday in the snow for a play they did last year, which I just thought was great.
All the kids are sort of like from sort of socially deprived areas and stuff. A lot of the sort of like richer kids, their parents are paying sort of £10, £15 per sessions, and there's no way that these lot could afford that kind of thing. So I'm really tired. I'm in quite a lot of pains. I've been standing on this slope. I've really enjoyed myself, so it doesn't really matter.
An hour before the show, and Mad Theatre Group is getting ready for its big performance. Matt helps Joe with the final lighting checks.
Can you get on that table and just whip that out for me? Get out, take the other good man, stop. You know, it's impossible in 5 minutes with 6 lights, Paul. Yeah, we've done what we can in a short time.
Over the last 15 years, Mad Theatre has produced 40 original plays in order to fund itself and takes pride in having a part for everyone.
Really good. Really, really good. No, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
I love the fact that, you know, we're here on a Sunday night in the middle of Moston and we've put on a performance and the parents have come and that was not always the case.
Yeah, well, that's the most important bit. The thing that made theatre what it was for me was the people, you know, people like yourself.
But I'm sure down London there's probably organisations...
Physically it's not very easy for me, especially if you're doing it next to people who are able-bodied. But, you know, I've had a great time the last few days with you guys. The thing about Mad Theatre, you know, I mentioned my leg at the end and they were like, oh, OK. I think they were interested in the fact that I was making a documentary. I don't think they didn't hone in on the disability. I didn't think I had to kind of feel disabled because I'm in a room with people who just wouldn't care.
It's Matt's last day undercover, and he's going to meet Alex, who he met playing wheelchair basketball. Alex is spending the morning raising awareness about meningitis.
I don't know whether it's a charity he runs or whether it's a charity he raises money for, whatever it is, I'm more interested in just him as a person.
That's basically what we're handing out.
Right.
All you got to say to me, can I just give you a meningitis symptoms card to him?
Right.
And half the time they'll say, yeah, thank you, stick it straight in the pocket. You know, even if it saves one person, it's better than none, isn't it?
Of course it is, yeah. Hi, can you take one of these symptoms cards, please? Thank you. Hi, can I give you a meningitis trust symptoms card, please? Thank you.
You're talking to him, very chatty, so he's doing well. Bring him next time, you know, giving all these cards out for us. It's meningitis trust, it's just a symptoms card. Thank you very much. Thank you, bye.
He was telling me earlier that sometimes he does this for 8 hours a day. You know, I don't go to my office for 8 hours a day. You know, sometimes I'll have 8 hours in bed. He's not getting paid for it, he's just doing it because he just think it would have killed him.
Stop it in your tracks, no, thank you very much. Starve. Get stuck in. So bloody nice to have a chat.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I'm going to eat first because I'm absolutely starving and I'm going to fall over.
Best suggestion you've said all day.
To cope with the pain in his leg, Alex needs to take morphine every 4 hours.
This is my oral morphine.
Right. And that's purely for pain in your leg?
Purely for pain in my leg. Like a sharp, nagging pain, it's always there. Like it's there now.
If I can't tell you what to do, I really can't. Oh, no. You know? Because, like, you're hoping that something happens to you that I was devastated had happened to me, you know?
In a way, it's worse for you because you didn't lose it by choice.
No, it's not worse for me, Alex. It's not worse for me in any way, shape, just take my word for that. Don't waste any of your energy worrying about me, about anything. You know, I'm fine. I'm completely fine.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, but it's just in your nature, isn't it, to care? I can see that. Where's your mum?
All right, Zoe, say goodbye.
A family meal tonight.
Okay, yeah, Alex said, yeah. Is that all right?
Yeah,
That'd be brilliant.
As long as you help.
I'll see you tonight.
I'll see you a bit later, all right? Take it easy. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
See ya. You know, he just said, oh, I was really nervous yesterday in case you didn't like me. How can anybody not like him? It just doesn't... You know, plenty of people, I felt like saying, look, plenty of people don't like me because I run a few businesses and I'm a bit of an arsehole. And I rub people up the wrong way. I said, don't worry about people not liking you because you're a genuinely nice guy. I'm not genuinely a nice guy. I'm a bit of an arsehole. I'm just exhausted. Just feel like I've been hit by a train. You know, and I haven't shown you this, but my leg's been bleeding. You know, I've got abrasions, cuts. It's taken a fair battering. Being here is bringing back memories of how difficult it was when we first went back to my mum and dad's house. My dad had to carry me up the stairs to bed.
You know, I couldn't get on and off the toilet on my own. Certainly couldn't get in the bath. I find the bath helps with muscle ache. To live somewhere that's adapted and comfortable is vital.
It's Matt's final evening undercover, and he's having dinner with Alex and his family.
Alex, how you doing? You all right? I brought you that. I didn't really know what to bring, Alison, so...
Thank you.
I thought no, that's all right.
Did I show you upstairs?
Yeah, please do, yeah.
Stick right there. Put any unnecessary pressure on this one.
Yeah. On what? On your left one, yeah.
This is the main...
Can you not push on it at all?
No, because there's chance of me setting my pain off.
Right.
This is like a nightly thing, which is...
Yeah, it's a pain, I know.
This is where I sleep at night now.
Okay.
I've said a few old family photos. That one was taken literally at about, I'd say about 3 minutes before I took ill.
And what was going on the day?
Oh, that was the wedding day.
Was it?
Sorry, I'm not mentioning it.
No, you didn't mention that.
Actually took ill on my mum's wedding day.
No.
On my dad's wedding day, yeah.
Fucking hell.
So make it a night to remember.
So?
I know, so... That's the bathroom. It's just...
Bathroom. Okay.
But it's obviously it's tiny.
Yeah. How often do you get in the bath, Alex?
Every couple of months. Just agonising getting in. When you're in pain, you just want to get in a nice hot bath, just soak it all out. And that's just not possible. So...
Now, I thought I came home from hospital to a difficult situation, but compared to this, it was a piece of cake.
We'll see.
Alex's family have remortgaged and put £45,000 towards a disability-friendly extension. But it no longer suits Alex's needs.
I think it's time you started peeling some potatoes.
Why don't you go sit next to Alex? I'll do this with you, Mum.
Oh.
Was there an idea that Alex would be able to have some semblance of an independent life?
Yeah, and I'd like him to have a little area where he could have like a...
Be 18?
Yeah, have a couch and sit down and not sit in the front room with us.
Do you drive him around a lot?
Yeah,
So pretty much everywhere?
We had to put £3,000 down on that car.
Right.
They only let me keep it for another 12 months. We need to start trying to get £3,000 together again. We're really struggling money-wise now.
Do you mind if I sit in here or sit on the sofa?
Yeah,
or?
go and sit on the sofa.
Anywhere you come most comfortable.
All right.
Yeah.
Have you thought about completing the conversion over there? I mean...
We had to fight for 2 years to get that adapted, didn't we?
I don't want to go to a charity for this.
No,
I don't want to go to a charity for that. I want to be able to do everything myself, really.
The family unit you've got here is just stunning. It's brilliant.
Thank you.
Nobody ever says that we're a nice family like that. They're just us, aren't we?
You know, my mum and dad mean the world to me, and this just completely comes across like a total team. Thanks for the nice food and that, and...
Come again.
Yes. I've never felt so fucking well in all my life. It's the same situation as I was in. It's me, 10 years ago. But it's just not getting any better for him.
Tomorrow, Matt's going to be giving away tens of thousands of pounds. But he can't stop thinking about Alex.
Alex told me that he'd been struggling with the stairs and what have you for 11 years. And, I just can't really comprehend that, to be honest. Just want to go and want to just go back around there now and just say, this is bollocks, I'll just sort it out for you. Sorry. Getting this leg back is brilliant. It's been a big push this week.
It's Matt's last day in Manchester, and today he's going to reveal that he's a secret millionaire.
In business, I'm used to just bulldozing my way to get what I want. But this is somewhat different.
Right, this is it. This one could reach out to thousands. It really could. Morning. Good, you all right? You know, I promise I'm not just saying it for the sake of these guys being here. You know, I think what you do here is absolutely brilliant.
Right, well, thank you for that.
And to be able to help the triple amputee round...
Triple amp?
I know. Brilliant, brilliant. You know, when I said I work for a property company, I do work for a property company. I just, missed out the bit that I kind of own the company, and that and other businesses that I'm involved in mean that I'm a millionaire. I spent a lot of time thinking about what you were saying about how somebody might just come in and pay for you to take that bus out on the road.
Yep.
I'd like to do that. I'd like to pay for that. So here's a cheque for £10,000 to sort your bus out.
Nah, this is not true. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Now, you talk about being humbled.
It's fine.
Oh, my God. I can't even swear. No. No, thank you. No. That is so important to us. But what's happened to you, trust me, is more important. Yeah, that will get work done. That will bring more people to the door. That will spread the word out there. But the most important thing is what you've done here. Hey, that sneaky bastard. For someone to actually commit to something that's dear to my heart because they can see it's worthwhile, humbling doesn't do it. I haven't got the education to be able to explain myself at this moment in time.
This one's kind of special. It reminds me of, you know, when I was a kid. I don't like to pigeonhole people, but watching all kids of all different shapes and sizes and all different backgrounds and all different types working together for a common thing, brilliant. You know, there's only so much you can do with 6 lights, and I feel like you've got a need for, you know, more. I'd like to give you a cheque for £5,000 to buy a brand new lighting rig. Something else that I want to do is give you another cheque for £5,000 so that you can organise a trip so everybody can go down to London and see a show or two and have a night out.
They're gonna go mad. Matt, secret millionaire. He's generously given us £5 to get some proper new lights and £5 to take everybody down to London. So what, something at the West End, to stay over?
No, I don't have a clue what to say.
You're more than welcome.
Thank you.
As Matt leaves to meet Alex, news reaches him that Alex has been taken into hospital, and it could be days before he's well enough to see him again.
It hits home the fact that he's actually ill day to day. You know, this has been one of the hardest weeks of my life, and now I'm, you know, not sure that I'm even going to be able to finish it. I'm desperate to help Alex. You know, I'm worried that they're not going to let me. How are you?
Don't ask.
You feeling a bit rough?
Rough.
Alex had to be tested for the spread of meningitis and is now at home recovering.
The whole experience of meeting you, Alex, has kind of made me feel, to be honest, slightly ashamed of myself for having not reached out to more people before. I've probably done less in the last 9 years for other disabled people than you kind of did in the 3 days that we spent together. The 4 of you just completely remind me of the day that I got home from hospital and being there with my mum and dad. Coming round for dinner the other night, the amount of love in the room, it hit me between the eyes. You know, when we were talking in the kitchen about the things you struggle with, specifically with the car, I haven't been completely open about myself with you guys. I'm involved in quite a lot of pretty successful businesses, and I'm actually a multi-millionaire, and I want to pay for the deposit for your car. So, no way. I've got a cheque for £3,000 that it would mean the world to me to go and...
Yeah, but it was just I can't take that, mate. I can't.
No chance. I can't go back and live in my flat and have as easy a life as I have and think of you struggling with yours. The conversion to the back of your house is not good enough, so I've got another cheque for £30,000 to go towards doing the conversion. I just want you to take it and let me do it, Alex. I can't. Please, just take this.
Are they real? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, Alex. It's just something I can do that just has to be done in my mind, you know. Sorry. I don't know where to begin. I don't know what to say. Just thank you isn't enough.
I can't believe that we'll be able to start and get some dignity back to Alex's life, where he's not having to have people out the way while he tries to go up the stairs because he doesn't like people watching him try and manage up the stairs. We'll be able to get him some comfort and some dignity, and I don't think he'll ever realise just how much a difference it's going to make to our lives.
I get to go away now and think that actually I'm joining in with Alex's effort to kind of do all the good things that he does, and that's, you know, that's a privilege for me, isn't it? I just thought, well, this kid's just gonna...
I got that for you.
That looks a bit silly now.
It looks a bit silly and insignificant now, but it's all that's going to leave you to that, just like me, I've had such a good time. Like.
I just don't know what to say to you. No, I really don't. I can't say thank you, but...
Will.
Thank you very, very much for thinking of us.
I've been thinking about you endlessly for the last few days.
Even if he turned around and said no, he couldn't do it, the fact that he'd be willing to give it a go just means so much.
I feel like there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's been a very dark tunnel for a long time, and I think we're gonna get there.
He wrote, "It's been fab meeting you, and I hope we stay friends. Thank you, Alex." Well, just, you know, I'm not very often stunned, but I'm stunned by him. I really am.
Matthew Newberry speechless?
Yeah, I think it probably is. I hate pigeonholing, but if I'm going to pigeonhole myself as disabled, the people that I've met this week have made it all right for me.